Hey, I'm TJ. Today I'm going to take you through the landing continuum.
So the landing continuum is all about the options you have when you're going for a running jump. So ideally we're going for a precision jump, but maybe we go for a crane, use our hands, go into support, maybe drop into an arm jump, or even fending off and aborting the jump. So as we take off, we have to judge how high our weight's going to go and pick the best option based on where we're going to arrive at the wall. The end goal here is being able to react and decide in the air what we're going to need. These responses should all blur together, not be distinct, but for now we're going to look at them one by one, try and break them down, and work out how to practice each element of the landing continuum. With precisions and arm jumps already being distinct techniques, I'm going to focus on the crane, support, and fend off bits, as well as the interesting area between a support and an arm jump. First up, working on the crane. You want something you can jump onto, and you're trying to run up and almost precision up. Try and find something where you can do a running jump and land at the wall. And notice we've got 1 foot up and 1 foot down. You're trying to hold a strong braced core position, a dish shape, and use both feet almost simultaneously to stop your momentum. So this helps you catch that middle area where you're not quite going to make a precision jump. It's useful to practice this in a bunch of different contexts and experience what it's like jumping flatter, jumping down, or really jumping up and almost wall running something with a crane. The most important part is learning how to absorb that impact using both legs and just making sure you can keep your balance and get yourself on top of the wall afterwards. Next, for support, you want something similar, a wall you can jump up and have your legs dangling, not be touching the ground. Here we're trying to learn again how to absorb the impact, ideally coming in legs first and then catching the rest of the weight with the arms, and ideally climbing up on top of the wall after you've done that. While you practice, try and come in from different angles and speeds and trying to really understand how to get the legs in front but still be stable and have the weight on the arms. You might find yourself doing a full dip, really bending the elbows and letting the weight come down on top of the wall, or you might find yourself being able to pop straight into straight arms and really quickly get on top of the wall from there. For the fend off, all you need is a nice big wall, anything with heaps of space, and you're just running at the wall, again getting the legs in under you, absorbing, and then using the hands for balance, pushing yourself off the wall, trying to get to a safe landing position. You can do this again in a number of ways, trying to jump up and slide down the wall a bit, trying to run and jump up into the wall and stop. If you get the balancing right, you can even just do it with your legs. Keep the arms there just in front of your face to protect it. So practice again, different surfaces, different angles, different speeds. Make sure you push a little bit away from the wall so that you can bend your knees and land properly. Avoid turning to the side to try and protect your knees. If you hold a strong dish shape, push with your hands, stick your butt out, you'll keep the knees off the wall and be much stronger in your landing. And now a quick look at that space between a support and an arm jump, sometimes called a letdown. We're trying to jump at the wall just a little bit too low for support. You may have discovered this before. Sometimes you can't hold all the weight on your arms, or your hips aren't quite high enough. So in that case, you try and lower yourself down and catch yourself on the wall in an arm jump. Maybe try and imagine there's lava underneath your feet. You don't want to just fend off. You want to try and stay on the wall so you can get up and keep going forwards afterwards. Again, approach this at different heights, angles and speeds, but try and understand how to get close to the edge of the wall. You might do a dip first, as if you were going into support and trying to hold it, then roll back and do a negative climb up. Other times you might be going straight into that arm jump, but starting with your weight above the wall, whereas most arm jumps you might be used to starting with your eyes level with the wall or similar. So try and arm jump the wall from above and you'll understand the angles involved in lowering yourself, holding on and being able to climb back up. Your landing options can get even more interesting here. For example, you might jump at the wall and be going for a crane or a crane with your hands. Find you can't hold it, come through to support by dropping the foot, then after that, drop into an arm jump and try and catch and climb back up. So really try and experiment here. Start jumping at the wall without an idea of how far you're going to go. Try and trick yourself and then learn to react in the air. Or once you choose an option, how to transition between the options safely without falling off. Learning these reactions and all the blurry areas in between, plus being able to pick from them cleanly and smoothly in the air, will really help you in your training. The goals of learning the landing continuum solidly are to be safe and have confidence in any landing and therefore any jump, which will help you commit to trying new things and will also be very useful in a real parkour situation where you don't get the chance to practice or set up or measure how big the jump is. You have to jump and then react in the air. However, there's a lot more variables involved than we looked at in these few responses. All we looked at now is the height of your approach. There's actually a lot more that goes into it, and in part 2 I'm going to discuss and show you about 22 different potential landing options. If there's only one thing to pick up from this tutorial, it's that you should always try and lean back in your jumps and hit legs first, because they're much better at slowing you down and catching your weight. Stay safe, and I'll see you at part 2.